It's 5:31. I think we were hoping for a tight 30 minutes.
Okay, should we get rolling then?
I don't know. Jed, are you waiting for anybody special?
Oh, yes, but they're all here.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Great, well, should I start it off?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hi everyone, I'm Graham Wood from Ocean House Gallery. Thanks for coming. This is a virtual art book launch for Rebecca Goodale and Judson Merrill. So this is a collaborative piece that they made recently. It's a limited edition art book that I have a copy of here. And some of the prints, the images are up on the wall behind me. And I think Rebecca's going to share her screen and show some of the images up close. And Judd is going to read the poem that's inside the book. So I think first Judd was going to talk about how the collaboration came about. So I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks for hosting us. It's so lovely to see everybody, to have everybody here. I know it's the book that Rebecca made is so beautiful and such an incredible physical artifact. I wish you all could see it in person, but I know that being on Zoom allows people from all over to be here, which is also very nice. So in the first year that I was teaching at USM, which was the University of Southern Maine, which was 2017, 2018, Lisa Hibble, a friend on the faculty, invited me to join what the university calls a faculty interest group, or a FIG, which is charming. There's Lisa in the chat. And the focus of the FIG was going to be the poetry of work. And we were all teachers, so work, maybe you could interpret as sort of the poetry of teaching, that kind of work. And I said, I don't write poetry. If you go look in my poetry folder, the first thing before all of the stuff that I generated for this group is from 2004. So it's not my mode, but I agreed to join. I really liked Lisa, I trusted her, and I was teaching creative writing at the time, which meant that I was supposed to be teaching poetry. So it seemed only fair if I was going to ask my students to write poetry, that I go write some poetry. And I also I was new to the university and I was hoping to build community. And on that front, I wrote some poetry that was successful, but even more successful was getting to know some of the other people on the faculty, chiefly Rebecca, who is an amazing person, an amazing friend, an amazing artist. I tend to click with visual artists. When I was traveling around at residencies a few years ago, I sort of tended to shun the writers and hang out with the visual artists. They seem to have a sense of discovery and an evolving process that really jives with the way that I like to think about my own work. And so Rebecca's work, and Rebecca is very much that. Her work is very diverse and creative and exploratory and curious. And so I was immediately inspired by her work. And then she also became a really good friend and a really good mentor. Also, she's been teaching at the university for a really long time, but always as a working artist first, and who teaches. And that's the career I would like to carve out for myself. So she was inspirational in all kinds of ways. Although I remember, Rebecca, our first meeting together, we were talking about a poem and I was like, who is this lady? She's got strong opinions. I don't know how this is going to go. But fortunately, it went very well. I count her now as a dear friend. And so during the second year of this group, I wrote a series of 3 poems that all kind of hang together. And they're all exploring the issue of, when I was 22, I made this life decision to be a writer, which turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made, and one just made in complete ignorance. I had no idea what I was committing to. And so, I'm not sure what exactly to draw from that, what lesson to draw from that. The best decision I've made in my life is one that I made ignorantly and perhaps stupidly. Or is there some kind of naive wisdom in there that I should try to learn from? Anyway, so Rope is the best of those 3 poems, which Rebecca saw right away. I mean, Rebecca was very complimentary of all 3 of them, but she saw right away that that's the best one. And although it's born from that impulse, hopefully like any decent piece of writing, it's about more than that. I don't think that's exactly why it resonated with Rebecca, but maybe I'll ask her that later. So I will read this poem. Rebecca, is there anything you want to say before I read? I know after I read, I'm going to hand over to you, but before I do, is there anything you want to say?
No, I think it's important for everyone to hear you read so that they will know what how I approach this, what I was thinking about in terms of what the poem said. So yes, please read.
Great. Okay, I'll read, and then I'll put the poem in the chat so that if people want to look at it some more, they can. Rope. I've got hold of a rope, a brown and braided cord emerging murkily from the sea. As I haul it in, an algal slick stains my hands. Rope puddles around my ankles and laps against my knees. Salt water pools onto the dock and drips through the planks. A plump little rainstorm just beneath my feet. My favorite physics podcast says that the sea will clasp tightest at the end. Surface tension. I do think I've felt a change in the line lately. Maybe the end is edging tensely toward the surface. It's got me feeling reflective. Leela came by the dock yesterday, and I told her about the idiot child I was when I first picked up the rope. There could be anything on the other end, I'd admitted, but I was so young, I thought anything was synonymous with something. At night, the invisible sea laps against the pylons and whispers the truth. The infinite subset that is anything includes nothing. The weight in my hands might simply be miles of rope, heavy under an ocean of pressure. Leela said that I should make a Twitter account for the rope so that I could tweet amusing things it might say. Hashtag rope life, hashtag mhauling, hashtag dear God, let this matter. She kicked the accumulated coils and said, if you had a platform, you might be able to monetize all this. I said that I did have a platform, and I nodded at the dock. Right there, she said, that's your first tweet. Here's my last tweet. It's the ocean floor on the other end. I've been hauling it up for years. I am responsible for sea level rise. One day soon, I'm going to pull the water up over my feet, pull it cold past my thighs, up with a shock into my armpits, and then with a hush over my ears. In the marine dusk, the rope will pulse with life. Its algal slick will undulate and dance with the krill. I will drown in the unmonetizable depths, and the abyss will be both something and nothing. I've got hold of a rope. I've got weight in my hands.
Nice.
Very nice.